Hello, this is Laura from Cruise Lifestyle. In this video, I'll be sharing my top 10 tips for visiting Pearl Harbor. Tip number one is to try, where possible, to do this excursion independently of the cruise ship. You will not only save lots of money, but you will also be able to spend as much time as you want looking around Pearl Harbor. I'd recommend going to nps.gov and pre-purchasing the passport to Pearl Harbor. It includes all museums, the USS Arizona Memorial and shuttle buses for just $72 per person. Tip number two, plan to spend the whole day at Pearl Harbor so that you're not rushing and trying to cram lots and lots of things in. It means you can spend the day and see everything properly. My tip number three is to try and do a bit of research before you visit Pearl Harbor. This may be through internet searches, books, documentaries, films, but if you're visiting on a cruise, it is likely that your cruise line will be offering daily talks and enrichment lectures about Pearl Harbor. So my recommendation would be to definitely attend some of these and you'll get the most out of your visit. Tip number four is to get off the ship as soon as possible. Making an early start will definitely give you benefits of less crowds, getting there before the organised cruise line shore excursions, and also having the opportunity to get your bearings and decide what you're going to be doing in which order. This leads nicely on to my tip number five, which is to, where possible, head to do the USS Arizona Memorial first. Just because you've booked a ticket doesn't necessarily mean you're guaranteed to be able to go over on the boat to the memorial, because the harbour sometimes can suffer from high winds, which means the boat shuttles have to be cancelled or just stop temporarily. So my advice would be to go and get tickets early so that you can do that first, rather than avoiding waiting till later when it might have closed. Just before 8 a.m. on Sunday the 7th of December 1941, Pearl Harbor was attacked by the Imperial Japanese Navy Air Service. The US formally entered World War II the following day. The 7 open windows commemorate the date of the attack. The USS Arizona Memorial marks the resting place of 1,102 sailors and Marines who were killed on that ship during the attack on Pearl Harbor. If you look closely, you'll see small droplets of oil from the sunken ship that form on the water every day, even now. Tip number six is to make sure that you show respect when you're visiting the memorials within Pearl Harbor. My tip number seven is to not miss visiting the Mighty Mo battleship. The USS Missouri battleship was not involved in Pearl Harbor attack, but it was donated and became a museum ship here due to its historical significance. Here you'll pass by a statue of the iconic Victory Kiss on your way to boarding Mighty Mo. It was on the USS Missouri that the surrender of the Empire of Japan ceremony took place, ending World War II. My tip number 8 is to take a visit to the submarine that's available for you to walk around. It's really interesting to see how life is like within a submarine and the living quarters. My tip number 9 is to take a visit to the Air Museum that's on site in Pearl Harbor, and that can be accessed with a shuttle bus. You will need the passport to Pearl Harbor to access this, but it's worth a visit so that you don't miss out on that side. And finally, depending on what time of year you're visiting Hawaii, the day might be long and it might be quite hot. So my tip number 10 is to make sure that you stay hydrated and you factor in plenty of breaks in between visiting all the museums and the memorials.